We have another one going into respiratory distress. We need a doctor in medbay now.
They've locked us in our cabins. The metal bolts slid shut. A silence I can't place. They won't tell us what's happening, just shadows in space. What's happening?
The MV Hondius was supposed to be the Antarctic cruise of a lifetime on a modern, state-of-the-art ship. But 22 days into the voyage, a forgotten plague began to stir. Brought on board by an unseen passenger, what started as a dream vacation spiraled into a biological nightmare. Now 3 people are dead, more are critically ill, and almost 150 souls are trapped at sea. This is the story of the Hondius Outbreak, a public health disaster unfolding in the most remote place on Earth. The voyage began with high hopes on March 20th, 2026. The Dutch-flagged MV Hondius sailed from Ushuaia, Argentina, charting a course for Cape Verde with stunning stops planned along the way. For everyone on board, it was the ultimate adventure. But then, on April 11th, the dream started to fray. A 70-year-old Dutch passenger suddenly fell ill with a fever, headache, and severe abdominal pain. He died before the ship could even reach the island of St. Helena. It was a tragedy, but at the time, with no way to determine the case on board, it seemed like an isolated one. Weeks later, the situation escalated into a full-blown nightmare. On April 27th, the man's 69-year-old wife, who had left the ship with his body, collapsed at an airport in South Africa as she was trying to get home. She died in a hospital nearby. On that exact same day, Hondius, a 69-year-old British passenger, became dangerously ill. As the ship sailed on, the medical team realized they were dealing with something far more serious than they imagined. Then on May 2nd, the final blow. A third passenger, a German national, died right there on the ship. The killer was soon given a name. The sick British passenger was medically evacuated to a hospital in Johannesburg, and lab tests came back with a terrifying diagnosis. Hantavirus is mainly spread by infected rodents through their droppings, urine, and saliva. People get sick by breathing in tiny invisible particles that get kicked into the air. An outbreak of hantavirus on a cruise ship, it's something medical experts had never seen before. The disease it can cause is brutal. It can attack the lungs, causing hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, or trigger hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome, which leads to internal bleeding and kidney failure. The mortality rate can be as high as 38%, and there's no specific cure or vaccine. The only option is supportive care in a hospital, a resource they just didn't have in the middle of the Atlantic. With the Hondius now a floating quarantine zone, the world was watching and asking, how could this possibly happen? If you want to understand the events shaping our world, subscribe to my channel for more stories like this one. With multiple deaths and a confirmed case of hantavirus, the MV Hondius became a pariah ship. Authorities in Cape Verde refused to let it dock, leaving the vessel and its 149 remaining passengers and crew anchored just in sight of land, with no way off. The situation grew more desperate, as 2 crew members began showing acute respiratory symptoms, needing urgent medical attention. The World Health Organization scrambled to coordinate an internal response, calling the event a cluster of severe respiratory illness. The organization confirmed it was supporting the public health event and that detailed investigations were underway. Medical teams from Cape Verde even boarded the ship to assist the sick, while the Dutch government started planning a complex mission to get everyone home. For those trapped on board, there was only fear and uncertainty. One passenger posted an emotional video, pleading for kindness and understanding. She said, "All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home." As of today, the British passenger is still in intensive care in Johannesburg. He is the only case that has been lab confirmed as hantavirus so far. The WHO and the other health agencies are desperately trying to piece the puzzle together. Was there an infected rodent hiding somewhere on the ship, or was everyone exposed during a shore excursion back in Argentina? where the virus is known to exist. Hantavirus can have an incubation period of up to 8 weeks, which makes tracing the origin incredibly difficult. 3 people are dead, 3 others have fallen ill, and for the nearly 150 people still on the MV Hondius, the journey is far from over. They remain in isolation, waiting for answers, waiting for a rescue, and just waiting to go home. The tragedy of the Hondius is a stark reminder that even in our modern world, on our most advanced ships, we are never truly safe from ancient plagues and the raw power of nature.